And everything should just work, because I set it up to just work, so it should just work.
Because I said so.
Yeah, why not?
I being you in this case.
As long as somebody says it.
I am going to use that more often, where what I say is actually what Joe says, and
There you go.
use that to my advantage when I need to. It seems like the right thing to do.
Yeah, that won't come back to bite you in the ass at all.
Joe said it. It's
Wonderful.
Oh.
Justin, thanks for joining us.
Yo.
I still can't see the stream for some reason.
Well, that's weird.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, indeed.
Ben, Justin, hello.
Ben, I don't know if you should be looking for us for any kind of stability here, but I appreciate the sentiment.
Yeah, stability.
Well, you know, when you rate everything a 7 out of 10, what can you expect, right?
Well,
that's
it's
just
predictable.
enthusiasm, man. Come on.
It's predictable, if nothing else.
Okay.
Something to be said for predictable, man. People crap on predictable.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good times. Good times. It's actually, overall, pretty nice weekend for me. I don't know. People got up to some craziness, but yeah.
Nice.
Fairly relaxing. So, yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Hey, a relaxing weekend. I'm looking forward to it. One of these days.
Never again.
That's my yeah.
Apparently, I've learned that Comic Expo season is coming up, so we might have to be looking into another live stream from distance in the end of February here. The way things are going, yeah.
We'll have to see if the timing works out again.
Yeah, it should. I think Sunday is a fairly short day, but I don't know about time changes and stuff like that because I don't pay attention to that shit. So I don't know what time it is in your country. Barely know what time it is in my country right now. Like
Are you talking to Joe right now? Because I'll give you a hint.
It's the same time as it is here.
It's about that time. You know, that time being
give or take a few
7:20
nanoseconds.
There's some delay, as there should be.
Yeah, we're supposed to go live at 7:15. That tells you how good we all tell time. Like
that's
7:19 is this new 7:15. Okay.
Hey, wait, we've been live for three and a half minutes ish.
Absolutely.
Ish.
What are y'all carrying?
All right, do it, Paul.
Paul's just going for it.
You were locked and loaded there. Do it up.
Ka-chow.
Oh, I see.
I'm rocking the claw.
Nice.
Yeah, ZT 750. It
was that a new acquisition?
Newish. That's one I picked up from Doug.
That was a month or so, something like that. Something.
Just
I think it's made an appearance on the stream before, if I'm being honest, but
not as your carry, I think, but I could be wrong about that.
That's completely fair. I was home all day, so I was just playing with the stuff that's about, and it's surprisingly fun for an assisted knife.
Yeah, assisted is definitely something that not all of us are into, I think.
For good reason. Like,
what do you mean that I can count the number of good assisted knives on one hand?
I have an M390 Barrage sitting in my the mini by the way.
Inflammatory.
Better
comments
option.
at this point.
Part of my reason for carrying this is because I got bit by a hawkbilly blade recently,
And it wasn't that one?
It was not this one. It was a fox karambit.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
So, what's the going price on that plastic-handled Sabenza on eBay there, Fisk? I'm just curious. Sorry, Paul, continue on. Yeah. I'm curious on what it's sitting at right now. What
If
the
it's-
collectors are pushing that stupid thing to.
$24? I'll buy it.
$24. I'll make you a plastic-handled Sabenza for $24.
Worth every penny, too. Oh, God.
$1,200. Good golly, Miss Molly, that's awesome.
Wow.
You're kidding me, really? And that's USD too.
Well,
That can't be a real thing.
keep in mind, those were all like pre-production samples that are out there. I don't think they actually have.
It's a buy it now option, so I don't think you can bid
There's
on
not a
it.
bidding. Someone's just ballsy enough to throw that gauntlet down and see if someone bites.
So I mean, the next time you post it tomorrow for $11.99, and then $11.98, and just keep going until somebody bites the bullet.
You just play a game of chicken with everyone else around you.
Yeah.
And there's 3 suckers that are all sweating, waiting to hit the button before anyone else does.
Well, they're all Chris Reeves collectors, so they all deserve it. They all deserve to sweat a couple bullets over a CRKT.
So yeah, thanks for joining us, Black Frost.
Cheers.
Joe.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Paul. Finish your story now. Sorry, we got derailed.
White background, black photo. Still took the saturation out of it because for some reason the handles were coming out blue. It was weird.
That is a little weird. Software auto-correction in smartphone cameras is definitely something to watch out for, especially if you're trying to photograph with any like real color accuracy.
Indeed. Also, it appears that my windowsill's a little dusty.
Yep, it sure is.
Could have used a brush before you took that shot, but
Hey, it's more authentic this way.
I gotta be honest, I did.
You should use the damp cloth. Damn.
Joe, what are you carrying?
Well, I don't think it's going to be a theme tonight, but I'm carrying my ZT as well. One that hasn't been carried in a while. Also, I just realized tonight when talking with Paul earlier that my images are all mirrored. I keep remembering then forgetting. But yeah. 620 CF with M390. I love this thing. Back when they were making actual Emerson designs.
That might be the tankiest ZT that I really like.
Is that a slag on the 640?
Oh, it totally is.
What was that one? The 620? I like the 630, but it's just a drop pointy version of it instead. Like it's it's the same knife more or less, right? So
pretty much.
Yeah.
I think both of them had M390 carbon fiber variants. I think
those Emerson ones were in the hiccup between LMAXi and M390, and there was, I think they had them in 2 different steels, depending on the year that they were made.
Okay,
could be wrong.
Because I know
it could be 620 compared to 630. It was a 204p thing compared to an M390 thing.
Maybe.
Was that in the like 6 months where LMAX was going to take over as the
in that same realm, and then they jumped ship from M390 because they were doing LMAX and M390, and then they jumped ship and started S35s and 20 CVs.
So there's my question.
And 204Ps every once in a while too. Yeah.
The standard version, not the carbon fiber, but the G10 variant. That version was always S35, wasn't it?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay, because I know they all came out around the same time, but yeah, I can never remember that specific period of history with any real degree of clarity.
There's catalogs. There's old catalogs, but
yeah, but a lot of those changes were made, and then like you wouldn't see the paperwork until next year, right? Okay,
so here's the thing, Fisk. I'm with you. The 640's one of the few.
I like it.
It's a beautiful knife. Get rid of those carbon fiber scales and put something decent on it, like your micarta that you had for a while, and then we're talking. So here's the thing, though, Fisk. I will fight him for you, but he's also an employee, so I have to find time to do it off the clock, where HR can't get involved. And by HR, I mean my buddy Devin. So he'll turn the cameras off.
They come back on, just me in a blood puddle. What happened? Nothing.
You just are a blood.
I don't turn them on before it's cleaned up. What are you talking about? Like,
You think you're cleaning that carpet?
You obviously have not done this before.
Not over carpet.
All right. Anyway.
Also, Fisk, it's not an Emerson design if it doesn't have a wave. That's why they discontinued the A100. The only other Emerson I actually gave a shit about.
Oh, we are. There we go. We're caught up.
What's this now?
I think
You're
Paul
gonna
was
make
just
it
Second there we were,
I think Paul is just experiencing lag on his end.
but on my computer, not on my. Not on my
Okay.
camera.
Fair enough. Everything's
Yeah.
streaming good on my end. So, yeah.
Did you see the new Emerson offering for 2022? It's called a detent. What, they started adding? They always had detent balls. Are you just saying that they actually give a shit about drilling the hole now and doing it properly? Okay, for how much slag I give Emerson, I've really only handled like a couple of super commanders, and for the record, they were all fine. There wasn't anything really wrong with them, but
Indeed.
we're just painted today.
Plastic all over the walls. I mean,
Yeah.
you know.
Dennis is a pretty big fan of Dexter, so I'm not shocked about that development, to be honest.
I'm not going to get into my problems with season 9, but the OG Dexter was all right. They tried to jump the shark. They like got close to a shark in the original one without actually jumping it. But yeah. Anyway, so
Fair.
So on Fisk's note
Distinct.
of smelling poop,
His brown note, you might say.
I carry for today.
Beautiful segue. Beautiful.
Last night, yesterday was my birthday. A couple guys came over, watched the Bellator fights, had a good time. A good friend of mine, Johnny, came up to me and said, "Yeah, I got a gift for you, but what do you get for a picky knife bitch that has all the picky knives that he wants? And you got to make sure that it's something that he doesn't have in his collection and something that he doesn't have access to purchase for himself," right? So today, because John gave this one to me for a present, I am carrying my very beautiful plastic samurai sword.
There you go.
Hell yeah.
So you can see the very beautifully etched 3D Hamon on it as well.
That is glorious.
Do they actually put a wavy line? They sure do.
Oh, I
do.
got a good angle for it. I had to do some work to get that Hamon to shine. A third skirmish. Hey, I'd take it, you son of a bitch.
I'm so happy that this all came together.
I'd anodize it bronze.
Of course.
Or it would be a gold class skirmish, one or the other. But anyway, on that note as well, I will also mention that one of the best birthday presents I've ever gotten, other than a plastic samurai sword with a fake 3D printed Hamon on it, is my girlfriend's actually restoring her grandfather's pool table and setting it up in the basement. We're going to be a thing together and blah, blah, blah. So family unit, yeah, she basically gave me a pool table. And anyone who knows me, I play quite a bit of pool. I have played leagues here in town. Up into some of the higher ranking of the pools, but yeah, super happy. Getting my own table is a giggity moment for sure. So
hell yeah.
We're gonna need to see a video at some point where you clear an entire table and then walk out and hit targets, bang, 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 like all in one go.
it's just out the back door, we can.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
If I hit an ERO, we'll have the throwing knives ready. So
Yeah.
can stat an ERO and then walk out with 6 condors and stat those. And if I get the back-to-back all in one shot, We're good. We're good. I'm retiring. I'm not doing either one of those things ever again. Playing
What would be
pool,
the
the pool
point?
table will never be used. It'll
Flip
just
it.
sit down in honor, flip it. It wouldn't be the first time I flipped a pool table. And that's unfortunate that I can say that. But
Oh,
I was angry one night. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
I would assume that that's what there'd be a catalyst. You're not just flipping it for the hell of it.
I can say billiards if I was a douche about it, but there's levels. There's levels of douchery.
Dennis is too self-aware to be douchey about pool specifically, so
I'm not
so it's
sports. I'm not sports center level pool. I just enjoy the damn game. Okay, like
Okay. Oh, fantastic.
there isn't any TSN moments here. It's just fun.
Did you have to dress up to play in your league?
No,
Okay.
it's no. You had to have a Okay, so when you had to tournaments, you had to have a team uniform. Yes,
Okay.
because you're in the team play. So in theory, yes.
Could your team uniform be as simple as black slacks and a white shirt?
Black golf shirt, blah blah blah, yeah, type of thing. We joked around that we were all just black t-shirts and blue jeans because all of us just wore some form of a black t-shirt with a blue jeans pretty much every weekend anyway. So yeah. Ben knows Jason Reed as well, a good friend of mine that also plays on the pool team. So may or may not know the guys with the pool boys.
The pool boys.
So I play with golf balls, but I mean, that's just in someone's backyard. It doesn't count. And you could take that to mean however you want it to mean by playing with golf balls in someone's backyard. But we're just going to move on. We're just going to move on from here.
Is it like a ping pong show? Is that different?
I don't want to think about it. I just don't want to think about it.
Yeah, but there's flags. Like, it's...
So happy birthday, Dennis.
Thanks, man.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Oh, shit.
Cheers, guys. Cheers. Anyway,
Now,
we knives Eidolon, you say?
yeah, on to the main event. Let's start off with that comparison picture, actually, because it's just a pretty picture.
I like Fisk's comment about knowing whose team you're on, like, so you don't pass the ball to the wrong team, because it would suck to just whip the 8-ball at someone that wasn't on your team. Or is it like dodgeball, where you just like?
I think if you're in the kind of mood where you're whipping 8-balls around, I think you kind of want to hit the enemy team at that point.
Or is he talking like hockey, where I'm like passing it to someone like Q style for an assist? Is that what we're going for here?
Yeah, so like as you hit the ball as the cue ball is going, your teammate has to also hit the cue ball as it passes by him.
Of course. That's what I mean by an assist.
That's how
Hockey
people play
style.
pool, right?
Yeah. It's team play. There's 5 of us. It gets wild.
There's golf balls. There's team play. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Man, the night's just getting started and we're already derailed to hell. It's fantastic.
Indeed.
It's okay. We only have one thing to talk about tonight. Thank God.
We'll get around to it eventually.
Oh.
It really sucks when you have to play out of the rough when you're playing golf with marbles. Let me tell you, Paul or Justin. Sorry.
Golf with marbles. Is that like a handicap for some of you guys? It's a.
Yeah, it's, you know those exploding ones, but it's shards of glass. It's
So I should be wearing safety glasses if I ever visit, is what you're saying.
At all times.
By 4, I mean that's how many people I'm going to hit with shrapnel.
Horrible. Thank you. Somebody want to give me some background on this fucking night?
Yeah, so size comparison. Dragonfly. I got my Dragonfly comparisons going. Finally. I'm going to try to actually make that a thing this year. I talked about it last year. But anyway. Slightly larger than, I mean, honestly, your Kaiser Feist, Justin Lundquist design, you should have brought that in so I could probably get a second comparison picture.
But like almost identical in like
grind and handle and everything.
Yeah, but a thinner grind on that one than this guy.
Such a thinner
They
grind.
improved the Feist.
And the flipper on it. And the grind on it. And instead of actually just calling it a Feist 3 or a Feist 4, How many times are you going to stab yourself with a feist tonight?
Nope.
Oh,
A much scarier knife to drop into your lap.
well then, you should not do those things.
I
So,
almost became half the man I used to be.
also would have been a valid comparison that we should have used as well that I didn't bring in is a Benchmade Valet.
Yeah.
For anyone who wants any sort of other comparison.
I mean, even in overall length, the Pena
Yeah.
right up there.
What's the weight on this? 2.18. That's pretty damn good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that for the G10?
That I am looking at the G10 version. Yes.
Yeah.
On We Knife, I'm stealing specs. That's what we do.
Carbon fiber.
I didn't look it up. Anyway,
this
Joe,
is
go.
an integral knife. That is the big to-do about this boy, and that's why it costs so many god dang dollary dues.
Okay, here's the other thing, though, too. And I'm not saying that the Eidolon is necessarily this thing, but it is. We has to set the price point, like Benchmade has to set it on the bug out, and everything else is according to a bug out pricing. We has a bar somewhere. It's probably the goddamn banter. And if I can get away with the banter on S35 and G10 square slabs for $200, then everything else is going to be icing on the cake. So yes, you do pay a lot of dollary dues for this particular knife because of the integral, but also because We Knife has set their price bar
where they have, of course.
Yeah.
to make sense.
I will say, though, I can't think of too many other integral knives, much less G10, that also have something like 20 CV for the blade and yada, yada, yada. I think you're still getting a decent amount of knife for your money, but it is expensive. Just be aware of that.
So yes, Fisk also has a very fair point. The difference between this and the Feist is it does actually have a taper, a flared butt end compared to a Feist, which is much more pill shaped. Yeah, you're bang on for sure, dude.
Yeah.
And on the backwards note of how much they weigh, carbon fiber one is 1.98, so sub 2 ounce. G10 is just over 2 ounce.
They
That's
put
nice.
a Feist on backwards. Like it's wider on this end, it tapers. And that one's
Yeah, you're stretching, but okay. But I'm a dick, so
sometimes you gotta keep limber, you know?
yeah.
Well, gotta do something, right?
Well,
Something that passes time.
You don't stretch before the live air? Come on.
Yeah, this knife's awesome.
So
Front flipper is very nice. Top flipper, whatever they want to call it. Yeah.
I'm gonna say top flipper. Definitely makes a bit more sense. This is probably the first time where everyone who's handled this, like out of our group here, has had a pretty easy time opening it. I don't actually have a super great. I thought I did. I'll use this one while I'm looking through the rest of my folder, but the jimping is right on the top of the knife as compared to the Feist where it's forward like that. It's more located right here. Super easy to pop open. The jimping isn't super duper aggressive. Like if you've ever handled the Spyderco Ikuchi, the Ikuchi is kind of sharp on the jimping, which isn't bad. It definitely helps you open the knife, but this is a little bit more pleasantly chamfered. It doesn't seem to chew up my finger quite as bad on activation.
I refer to the Ikuchi as a Bic lighter type of action to it, right? Which again, not terrible, but yeah.
I think this would be it. We'll come back when that loads. Should be good.
So yeah, I don't know, very much softer on the top flipper. It doesn't feel like it's going to fall out of my hand, and apparently that could be.
Zoom in there.
Because of that flared base. I totally X-rays from the ER. Don't know it. Couldn't tell you. It's flying right by me.
I'm sure Joe's been there at some point.
I'm sure. Is it too old this time?
Too
young? What am I? It's too not nerdy enough? Too
old.
I just completely missed whatever reference that was. Sorry,
cool.
I was looking through folders of pictures.
X-rays from the ER.
Yeah, no, I don't.
I see.
I have no idea what you're talking
I don't know. And just to throw random comparisons out there as well, because I'm still kind of playing that game. I just looked up your Kaiser Feist. It's 2.6 ounces.
Okay.
So for anyone who's handled an OG Feist and the weight on that guy, this guy is
In the titanium?
yeah, the TI version, titanium gray, the exact knife that Paul owns is 2.6.
Interesting.
Did I miss the weight of the carbon fiber one?
1.98 and 2.18 for the G10. So
Okay.
yeah, so there's your comparisons. Yeah.
There's a fairly significant difference.
1.98. It's bug out. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah, that'll be a cool knife to see in person. Yeah.
This was a knife that I saw the G10 version. It was like, it's really nice. So nice, in fact, that I want the carbon fiber upgrade, even though it is kind of a jump in price. I think it's like 60 American.
So this one in particular too, the white G10 definitely gets dirtier without me thinking about the pivot color thing or whatever. The black one has a gray pivot color, which will smudgy less, and the carbon fiber one has a black, or is it just pure carbon fiber? I believe it's pure carbon fiber.
I'm not sure.
No, it's black G10.
Yeah.
I was gonna say black G10 with carbon fiber around it.
It certainly is. Yeah.
So, while we're on this picture, this is the one complaint that I've... Oh, what's up?
No. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, just the one thing that people have kind of talked about in terms of, oh man, for the cost, I really wish this wasn't this way. You can kind of see it at the bottom of the pivot screw here towards the butt end of the handle, how it's sort of shelved. And here in this photo, you can see that the pivot screw is definitely offset from the rest of the handle. The reason this is only on this side is because the Wii pivot face is actually contoured to match the curvature of the handle. Whereas you can't really do that on a screw where you don't know exactly what the orientation is going to be like when it's closed. Do I wish that they had 3D machined the handle a little bit more in a more considerate fashion, where it was like chamfered on the inside just so that it would hide that a little bit better? Sure. But honestly, in hand, I don't notice it, especially if I'm actually going to be using the knife. It's not a thing that bothers me ergonomically. But it is something that people have talked about, so I thought I'd bring it up.
People have talked about that shit, really? Yeah, there's a bit of a lip, I guess.
It's noticeable if you're looking for it, but if you're just using the knife or even just fidgeting with it, it's not something that really...
Well, yeah, it hasn't come into play.
The alternative is not 3D machining the G10, and I think 3D machining it was the better option.
Well, again, I think if they had done some sort of chamfering to the inside of the screw, I really wish I had a different example on hand, aside from just my own stuff, but whatever. Here's a pivot. Something like that, even. They do a little bit of a relief cut on the inside. Just something small like that.
I've heard that referred to as like antiqued.
Yeah, like an antiqued or an heirloom fit. Again, realistically, I don't think it really matters all that much.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think it's going to come into play as much as the shit-ass pocket clip that is impossible to take out. Let's just get to it here, boys.
What do you mean impossible? What do you mean you can't access those screws from the outside?
What do you mean you have to find a fancy tool?
Right?
So, where's the tool? Does it come? Is it in the box?
Sure doesn't.
It's just breathing heavy.
Well, sometimes it has to be in the box. If it's not in the box,
speaking
it can
of things
come with it
that you need to carefully fit in there, the assumption here is that you'd use a right angle. Do I have an example in hand? Well, people know what an Allen wrench is. Basically, a really thin, really slightly tapered Allen wrench to get a Torx bit inside that handle. Because, yeah, the clip screws are on the inside, and the only way you're going to remove that liner is if you take those clip screws out. So it's needlessly a pain in the ass, I would say. Do I wish they did... Sorry?
Go ahead.
Oh, it's like, do I wish that they had put the clips, the screws for the clip on the outside of the knife, and it wouldn't look quite as nice? Yeah, I kind of wish they did.
And surprisingly, if you just had done a strip over to top and done a full titanium strip over top of that picture where the clip hangs in, and you just do 2 screws into the top of it, you still. And I mean, yes, it's not as clean and blah 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 looking, but it also would have been a lefty thing. I know Wee Knives doesn't care about lefties, but I'm going to bitch about that because that would have solved both of those problems. Is just having a straight bar with 2 screws that go down into it.
Would have been pretty easy to do, given that this is an integral, and you could have just had it slide in, and it wouldn't have been a problem.
Although, what are you screwing into? Just G10 at that point?
You would have to have an insert, but again, it would be a relatively easy insert to do, and your liner could have been even shorter, making the weight of the knife even less.
It wouldn't have been as clean though, with the seamless body construction. It would have muddied the waters, so to speak. But,
okay, but is this maybe it is, but is this a knife where you really care that much about keeping everything clean? Because if so, why did you fuck up the pivot screw like that? I'm just being salty.
And we're back around.
No, but if everything else is perfect, then I can see the argument to be made.
So the best part about the first impressions is I don't even know. Did they give us an Allen key? Did anyone actually look in the box? I didn't look in the box.
I checked the box. There's no key.
Sort of fancy, hey, I can make this work type of shit. Yeah.
If you wanted to disassemble this knife, too bad.
And then on top of that, they put all that work for you not to be able to put a nice clip on it.
You don't like that clip, huh?
What's wrong with the clip? Boring.
Okay, the same thing that's wrong with a ZT707 clip.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm throwing shade. Look at this bullshit. Look at it.
It's a clip. Who the fuck cares?
I know who cares.
I know.
Functional clips. Is this a functional clip? I know Fisk was just bitching about that in his story, I think, just recently. I don't know. Is this a functional clip? It looks gross as shit.
Wow, really? Because
just a single little strip. I don't know. It didn't. Not for me.
It's a boring clip, but
I call that a functional
clip. It's trying to be not there as much as possible.
Look, I gotta say, I have had 0 issues with this clip. The knife hangs in my pocket. It doesn't shift around. It doesn't rotate or get fucky or anything like that. It's perfectly fine. I think the Eidolon. I think the clip's fine. I really don't think it needs to change much. If you were to change it and make it larger, I wouldn't complain. I would prefer a little bit more contouring, though. I'd rather they did something like this with more heavily contoured angles rather than just have it be a sheet clip that's, I don't know.
Well, a properly rounded, yeah. I don't even know if I have a properly rounded. I had a bunch of, my Rhino has got some rounding.
Yeah. Oh, Paul, your artisan. The
Centauri's got some nice rounding on it, for sure.
That's exactly the one I was thinking of. That one has some really nice rounding to it.
Anyway, I don't like it. For paying how much money I am paying for this thing, sorry, Paul.
No worries, man. Go ahead.
No, that's all I was going to say. Is how much money I was paying for this thing. I'd expect something nicer than,
I will say for the money, it is a little dinky.
Yeah. I can put that on a pen clip. It's seriously.
Yeah.
I think that's where it loses me, is because you can find a clip like that on generic pens. That I think that's probably where you lose me is.
The part of the reason why I'm going to upgrade to the carbon fiber version of this is because I can't remove the clip and dye it. And I really wanted to dye this thing to match the dye job that I want to do to my angst.
Okay, fair enough.
But now your fun is ruined.
Yeah. Have we even touched on the fact that you can get this thing in a dagger blade?
No, 2 different blade shapes. You bet.
Yeah. So
some people care.
the dagger blade shape looks basically the same as the angst. I don't know if you happen to have that one handy, Paul, but probably not a bad one to throw up on screen if it's close by. I'm kind of really freaking glad that the Eidolon has the Hologram Blade, the one that we're specifically looking at right now. Because it's pretty damn thin behind the edge. It does remind me a lot of some other Civivi and Wii blades. Yeah, so there's the dagger. It's essentially the same.
So did we also dabble on the fact, and I just popped over and was looking at specs on dagger blades and blah, 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 is that you can't get the dagger blade in carbon fiber?
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. I think they made the right choice going with a more utilitarian, more useful. Oh yeah, and there's the Centauri clip. Yeah, see that I really, really like that clip.
Yeah.
It's that not over rounded, but like rounded to kind of help meld your hand into the rest of the handle, rather than this squared off bullshit. As much as I like this knife and this clip, it's anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, and the dagger blade isn't bad looking, but I mean,
No.
yeah.
But if
the
you're
one
looking
that
for
cuts stuff, yeah, for sure.
yeah, good cutting performance, Civivi and we do great hologrinds. You should definitely be making use of it if possible.
Yeah. If there's one thing that the Feist kind of falls down with, is it's a little chonky behind the edge for such a small knife.
Yeah, the Feist always kind of gave me this vibe of like, kind of a hidden, what is it, crouching dragon hidden shit kicker, like just a knife you could kind of abuse with how thick it is behind the edge.
They know you're gonna drop it because it's so slippery. So
that's why they give you fuck all for traction, is it? Yeah, that's awesome. And
so in the G10, they can sit it out.
I was just gonna say, speaking of, the G10 is actually reasonably grippy. It's not overly polished. I don't know whether they just left the machine finish right off the mill, or if they sandblasted it very lightly or something. But whatever they did, it's reasonably grippy for being fully 3D machined.
Yeah,
and it's always kind of a neat little thing to see just the layer lines on the G10. I always like seeing that on integrals or the side.
The picture you had of the clip, you can see them. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it just took them
really nice.
Yeah, I really like that, and I'm excited to see the carbon fiber in person. But
you can really see it on the black G10 variation too. Like if you're looking on the website or whatever, the black one, really the lines really stand out for sure. So reminiscent of some Spyderco black G10.
Yeah.
Like very Joe says, the carbon fiber. See how much you can see that layering.
So
go ahead, Joe.
Oh, I was just gonna ask where you guys see this knife sitting in terms of like a use case.
A use case?
Yeah, like for me, this is more like small, gentlemanly kind of.
Yeah, it's valet. It's valet. Yeah. Fisk mentioned it one time. It's a knife for when you don't need a knife.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that talked about the valet. I think this one fits into the same category. Yeah, for sure. It's just something slim and light and to throw into the pocket. Yeah, so.
Yeah, something you can throw into a fifth pocket if you need to, or into the inside coat of a suit jacket or something like that. It's not dragging you down.
Fisk is saying it looks like a fifth grader 3D printed that handle for his science project. Like, no. That's what they did for the Benchmade bugouts. That's how that knife came into existence. Don't you worry.
I was just going to say his dad did that. I can tell. It's not fifth grade work.
Yeah, 40-year-old man did this at least.
He got his parents doing his projects for him now. Look at that.
Smug bastard.
Chamfered edges on that clip.
That
12-year-old ain't pulling that shit.
So there's an internal stop pin on this guy, I want to say.
Correct.
I neglected to look. But I am happy that they have this little window cut out here, if for no other reason than just aesthetics. Still looks kind of nice. But I had someone ask me early on if that was the stop pin, and I just showed them the back end of the knife with it open and how it does not interface with that at all. It's like, no. And to be honest, I'm happy that they didn't try to make a stop pin part of the handle. Like, I want to say Best Tech did that with a titanium handle design at one point. That always kind of weirded me out.
Yeah. I wanted a wear part to be replaceable if
Yeah.
if at all possible.
And I think the stop pin is just cold fit pin stock in the blade itself. So, I mean, if you had to, you probably could, but
Yeah. But I mean, like, what is it? My sway back, the stop pins are screwed in from either side. So in theory, you can replace them.
Interesting. So yeah, overall, it's not a bad knife. They're asking too much money for it.
yeah, they are. They really are.
I think my ultimate takeaway on this knife is, yes, I like this knife, but I don't think this gray model is the right version. The white pivot color gets smudgy and cleaned up. I think maybe the gray for the dagger, and if you felt like you wanted to tackle it or figured out a way to make a key to get the lock off and maybe do some right dyeing or something like that.
Yeah.
Potentially. But yeah, I don't think I can spend the money on this one, and the carbon fiber one that is the nicer of the option probably still isn't worth the money that they're asking for it because of the upgraded price to go with it, right? So yeah,
it's something like almost a 30% increase in price.
Is it like $100 increase, more or less?
I think so. Yeah.
I want to say it was like 60 American.
Oh, is it? Okay, that's a little bit better then. So, yeah. So not a third, a sixth. Yeah. Okay. But that's still okay. Yes, 3D machined, integral, cool. But I think you're right. And part of me thinks like, oh, it's that caveman mentality of like, oh, small knife too expensive because it's small. It should be less monies. A lot of time goes into the design work, sure, and a lot of time goes into the machine work, sure. But it is a bit of a tough pill to swallow for sure. Especially if you just want a small knife that's a really good cutter. That dragonfly that you have there is going to be a much better cutter. I mean, all other things being equal.
Yeah, and a third of the price.
Even with the K. Actually, yeah, it's still cheaper to do what you did here. With
you could buy both. You could buy both of them, and it would be
G10.
Cheaper.
Yeah. I was gonna say that knife there is not a third of the price because that one is 2 knives.
But you can buy both of those knives, and it's still probably slightly cheaper than what the Eidolon is. Yeah,
absolutely.
So it'd be a little bit. I think it might be slightly over half the price.
And Justin just called himself a woman in the chat, by the way.
Justin, do you have something to tell us?
Yeah.
Well,
his milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
Damn right.
Looks like he's 29 until he's 60. So,
hey, good for him.
And then he'll go through menopause.
60 is the new 29. Haven't you heard? It's
There you go.
There's something off about that. I don't want to think about it too hard. Yeah, I mean, usual caveat of if you get this in hand and you just fall in love with it, sure, it's a fine knife. It is overpriced though.
Okay, I overpaid for my valet. Fisk overpaid for a valet. It's too much money for what it is. I'll still pay it because it was a classy little thing. Yeah.
What I'm gonna say is, if you like the design, it's you're paying extra because it's an integral and blah blah blah.
I've never overpaid for a knife before that is not worth the money that's being charged. Anyway. Yeah. we're all prone to doing it.
Especially knowing how filthy artisan knives can be on the inside. And I went back and did it again.
They're dirty on the inside.
Paul just identifies with them a little bit more closely.
He double dipped, so
that's how you get dirty on the inside. I'm just saying.
Oh, here's a picture of Dennis holding the Eidolon.
All right, in hand. There you go.
Just to give you an idea for scale.
It's the perfect size little knife.
It's not bad. Like
I said, and I would almost go towards the black G10. I'm scrolling past that one, but just because it is probably the same price point as the gray one type of thing, you're not paying for the carbon fiber, and I think the black handle is a little more sleek on it.
A little bit of a classier look. Yeah.
The carbon fiber with the 3D machining though is pretty nice too. So
will say,
it is what it is.
Again,
so
I'm tired of black handles in my collection. I say that as I'm like the next knife I'm actually planning on purchasing has just black G10 handles. So I'll not take my own advice on this, but I'm just happy that they offer something other than black. Um, and sure, it's gray. It's a little boring, but yeah. Usually Dennis is all about that, though.
Going back and looking at that gray G10, I think Dennis is right. That black G10 is the way to go if you're
Maybe
going G10.
well, bring up a picture before we wrap things up here, just to show the other options. Can I remember how to spell Eidolon?
CPM in chat is saying this knife looks like an accident waiting to happen. That knife already exists. It's called the Feist. This thing is made of like greased titanium. I swear to God.
The finest of the greased titaniums.
There is not a lick of traction on this thing.
And as far as slipping up on the hand, yeah, if you're stabbing into things, you might slip up on your hand, but a lot of cutting and slicing and whatnot, not too worried. Also, this knife is not designed really for hard use, so hopefully you shouldn't have to use it in any sort of extreme manner where slippage might be a factor. Yeah.
I'm not usually push cutting into things.
Yeah, sometimes. But
Depends,
sometimes,
I guess.
Not often.
Yeah.
So
anyway.
This is the Black G10 with the same blade shape we were just looking at. This is the carbon fiber version with the same blade shape. Yeah, that carbon fiber looks...
it's the one you want to buy, but do you want to pay an extra $60 for it?
Again, I'm not the... See, Paul's, yes. For me, no. Honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of top flippers like this. Okay, if this was a 4.5-inch blade on this thing, yeah, sure, I'd go home with one. Just because I like long, skinny
I'd go home
knives.
with one in my leg. 4.5-inch blade. Yeah,
that's
and a top
SOCP.
flipper. Yeah, no doubt. How many workplace accidents do you want? Jesus Christ.
All of them. All of them. Anyway, if you don't like liner locks, you're obviously not going to like this knife. I'll just put that out there as well. And for shits and giggles, here's the Dagger Grind with the black, and that actually does look really slick. And this is one of the few Dagger Grind knives where you could sharpen the false edge. It's going to sit on the inside of the handle just fine. Would I do that in this particular case? I mean, the handle's already so small, I'm going to say no. Because...
will fit into the handle, and being able to run your finger and still kind of cutty yourself might be two different things, because this thing is nested awfully close to where those liners sit.
The Anx tucks away better, for sure, in that regard.
The Anx has more taper towards the tip, so it has more blade hiding than this thing probably does, right? So,
yeah, that's a fair point. I do like the way...
It's like Emerson waving a metamorph out of your pocket, I tell you. Safety first.
Or, what is it, a 475 or 479?
I don't remember ZT numbers all that well anymore.
I was talking Fox 479.
Oh, well, shit, there you go. Yeah.
Oh.
I think
the ZT 479, you know.
So the guy don't remember what that is. Whatever.
That's a thing. I don't know. 400 series of Sinkovich. Yeah.
Well, you know, everybody in chat doesn't seem to like it, and that's okay. They're allowed to be wrong.
No, I think they've all got a point, Paul.
I think out of all the knives in this world, I don't think I'm gonna pay $300 to $400 Canadian for something like this.
Yeah,
I
probably
just don't.
not.
I think that money's going to go towards something else. It's a nice knife, and the action on it's probably one of the nicest top flippers I've played with. And the detent is still not shaky open, which a lot of the softer detent stuff, like a Boker Lancer or something, is just because it has a shitty detent. So I'll give it credit for where, you know, it has its pros. But me, I don't know.
There's just a lot.
There's a lot of knives in this world. Yeah, exactly, Joe.
Yeah. If you want an example of a Chinese-made top flipper that actually is a very nice Chinese-made top flipper, this is a good option. But
if you know me, though, you know why I like this thing. You know what I mean? It's an integral top flipper. Like, there's things that I'm just like, you've already got my attention. I'm a sucker for super simple designs as well.
Yeah. Yeah, Lundqvist seems to have you by the balls this year.
Yeah. Motherfucker.
Lundqvist has a couple companies by the balls this year. Like, let's be honest here. Today is between Boker and We and Savivi and Concept and
Good for him though.
Kaiser and
CPM's talking about double-edged folding daggers, and we'll be talking about one of those later in the year, hopefully, because that's the other thing I want to buy this year.
An arch nemesis.
No, the Saturn.
The arch nemesis is a sexy knife, though. Not that I could afford to buy one right now, but goddamn, it's a sexy knife. Metal Complex is a sweet one that I think he was gifted by his wife on his channel. What's that? Yeah, I'm sure you've seen it. Really? Here, let me.
I think I have, but
he has a bunch of different variations, so I'm just gonna bring up his website and we can take a look at the arch nemesis.
Justin Lundquist and Laconico have milked one knife design for decades. Yes, and I still, again, I'm into it.
If that cow keeps on giving, you keep milking.
Dennis, could you think of a different way to say that?
You make a milking reference.
I don't want to. I just.
Yeah. That's
anyway, I was looking for a better photo on his website, but I can't.
The milling in the handle is a little Brian Ty.
A little. Anyway. No, it's very reminiscent of. So this isn't the best quality picture, but goddamn, it's a nice knife. Like, seriously.
Apparently CPM owns one of those as well as Oculus. So yeah, nice dude. Nice. Yeah, those are pretty.
Soon enough, my angst will be kind of like that.
I don't think your angst is ever going to be like that, dude.
I need a clamping sharpening system. I'm not freehanding the spine sharpening.
You're talking about the edges. I was talking about everything else.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I'm a dick. So
folding daggers, Infinite Gun on Works. Oh, look, a dagger. Paul and Joe are going to buy one now. Look, I mean, yes, first of all, how dare you assume otherwise? No. Folding daggers are difficult to get right, more, if for no other reason than you have to do with two flipper tabs that are, like, in really annoying positions when they're in your pocket.
Closing and not slicing yourself, having the action dialed in enough.
Too. But aside from that, this is one reason I think the Dagger Blade on the Eidolon makes a little bit more sense, just because there's no flipper tab on either side. It's just the top flipper. It's nice and streamlined. It's out of the way. That's the one pro I'll say for that type of design for a Dagger Blade over this type. Aesthetically, I think it looks much better to have like the Quillians out the side. That looks sick as hell, but in the pocket kind of sucks. Although, at that price point, I don't know how many people are actually actively carrying these things around on a day-to-day basis. I think for most people, they're Grail knives, which is perfectly fine, but...
We've got an owner in the chat. We could just ask them. How often do you carry yours?
Yeah.
CPM?
Yeah.
It seems like a special occasions type knife, you know?
When you need to send a message?
What might that message be, Paul? Look at me, I'm a classy bitch. Like it's a.
Yes.
I wish I had money to throw around on that. Oh shit. Well, and everything from the factory.
So CPM response: how often do you carry it? Never. Yeah, that's probably the right answer. Yeah, it's not practical.
Yeah. Okay. Glad to hear I'm not stepping on any toes.
I have a dream to have a full Italian bushcraft setup.
With the titanium frame lock, double-edged dagger. Yeah, okay.
I need one in every pocket. And on my head. And around my neck. And
with a gold chain. You have to wear a neck knife with a gold chain if you're going to do it.
Like, you have to. And it's got to be like the gaudiest, heaviest gauge piece of shit gold chain that you can find.
It's terrible. That's a terrible thing, and we
Yeah.
should all probably make way more money off of this idea than we have been so far. But
Is this like my tweezers?
it's
Yes.
your tweezers. It's worse than your tweezers.
You did this to
It's
yourself
like
too.
3 years worth of tweezers, which is how long it's taken for tactical tweezers to come out. Apparently,
Yeah,
it was
no
way
shit.
more complicated than they let it on to be.
Who knew? Who knew tweezers were that difficult to engineer?
Jesus
not-
Christ.
I'm not throwing shade. I actually have no idea what the development process was like. But yeah, I guess we can move on from the Eidolon. Kind of meh from Dennis and I. It sounds like Paul's still gonna buy one, just not this.
Yeah,
variant.
my enthusiasm's like a 3 out of 10.
That's fair.
3 out of 10.
It really is. It really is.
Mine's at least a 7. Dare I say 8?
That's like
Very
almost
close.
that's like almost an entire bald eagle, dude. Like
Dude. Back to the Eggy.
like you are glazing some donuts. Yeah.
Don't like that. If I were to give it a,
Savory nuts.
I'm trying to think, what would my enthusiasm for this thing be? I doubt it would be a 5. It's got, but I don't think a 3 is quite right either.
Wow, guys.
Are you really just splitting the difference to that's bullshit right there.
Well, honestly, I don't know.
Sure, don't take a stance. Fine, Joe.
Fuck it. Call it a 4. Call it a 4. Like again,
I
like,
got him on my side just by slagging on him.
yeah, a little
Nice.
bit. That's all it takes. Just make me feel a little
Peer
self-conscious
pressure.
about it. No, honestly though, this isn't a knife I would mind owning. Like, there's nothing intrinsically wrong with it for me. It's just it would not be my first pick over a lot of other knives out there.
And not to cut you off there, Joe, but CPM, yeah, for sure. Jared Van Dieter
Trevor
or
Berger.
Deventer, yeah, Deventer, yeah. And Trevor Berger makes nice everything. He's my new Shamwari. I'm kind of past the Shamwari kick, and the Trevor Berger stuff is really turning me on. Yeah, so
Hell yeah.
and Van Deventer, I believe, I don't know, yeah, has some JVO designs. So he's always yeah. So,
Kenya X series aren't bad as well. Yeah,
are you
Paul's
just
got one.
spouting JVO designs? Yeah, I mean, I've got a Rhino as well, so it's. I'm a big fan of Jared Van Otterloo. Yeah, so you can keep on commenting on the makers that have his designs, and I'll promote him all day for sure. So I don't think Trevor Berger has a JVO design in his lineup, but yeah.
I don't think so.
So
Now I just
Yeah.
kind of want a burger, if I'm being honest.
What's that?
And I kind of just want a burger now.
call up my oldest brother Trevor and be like, "Hey, come give me a burger."
Yeah. God.
It wasn't even my idea. It was some guy in the comments. Put
The
your name and
comments.
burger together. I couldn't get it out of my head. It's, yeah.
So now,
Now I need a burger from
care if-
you.
I don't care if you're an hour and a half away.
figure it out. This is your problem now.
Crack some eggs. Mix up some ground beef. Want homemade too. You're not getting McDonald's drive-thru on the way here. Come on.
It's all right.
Mince those onions into the burger before you cook it. God damn it.
Take your time with it.
Come on. Do it
Yeah,
like
anyway.
White Castle. Cook the onions and then just cook the burger on that.
That's not a bad idea either. But
Oh, it's what's up.
yeah, that's pushing an hour. We can cut it short. We get extra long. We don't have to dive into anything else if we don't want to.
I think I'm good.
We've
Oh,
had 3 weeks or so that have been pushing 2-hour runs, and we try to keep it to an hour and 20 minutes. So having one back along our normal timeline is not necessarily a bad thing tonight, guys.
Absolutely not. We eventually got there.
We just have to have one topic to rant for an hour. You give us more than one topic, and it's just it's impossible.
Yeah, an hour per topic, you know.
How did we get through the SHOT Show? Jesus Christ.
I don't know. I don't know. I want to attempt to get back into doing some concise reviews for stuff. I don't know if we're going to be able to do it. I don't think any of us are capable right now.
Oh, I'll actually throw in a little disclaimer from last week as far as the bitching about SHOT Show, and we will lead it out with something that I did remember from last week when it comes to SHOT Show, is I was bitching and moaning about the Natch or the Laredo in 4034, and bitching and moaning, bitching and moaning, bitching and moaning. And then when Cold Steel actually released their catalog this year, they have the Kukris, the Natchez's, and the Laredos in 4034, and then supposedly all of the things in 3V as well, except for Laredos.
I thought the only things in 3V were the Trailmaster and the Recon Scout.
No,
I mean,
they're only in 3V, but the other ones are in 3V and
4034.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
The Kukri, the Kukris both as well.
Yeah.
There was one that wasn't 3V. I want to say it was a Laredo you can't get in 3V, but everything else you can. Because if a Laredo is in 3V, I would kind of be losing my shit. But I don't know what their heat treatment is like in these new companies. I'm a little bit concerned.
Isn't the Laredo handle similar to the Natchez?
It is a twisted tang. Yeah, on that one.
Doesn't seem like it makes a lot of sense to go with 3V for it. Like,
Either one of those knives. If that's,
We'll see. We'll see on the construction. So
I really want to know what the price point is on a 4034 version of a Laredo. Because
they're spouting a third the price is what they're spouting. So
that's almost affordable.
Or 30% of what a normal, or 30% less maybe. Yeah, I'd have to go back and watch the really terrible Cold Steel video from this year. So
it was a really bad video, wasn't it?
So speaking of really bad videos, thanks for joining us, guys.
Need to have the Looney Tunes.
We'll thank the company we work for because we like them, and also Cutting Edge Cutlery Co. for letting us play with the Eidolon and handle and fondle and take pictures in the out of doors in between trees because they trust us with that shit. So yeah.
Yes.
Molesting their knives.
Fondling, gently fondling. It does have a nipple pivot according to Fisk. So
lovingly caressing, I believe is the correct term.
You gotta twist that screw a little bit.
Just a bit.
Yeah.
It's offset. It's offset a little bit, but that's okay. I mean,
hey,
Ben says, I guess you guys classify this as a YouTube short. If I could find a way to make this hour-long video into a YouTube short just to have it turn up on people's feeds, that'd be hilarious.
Amazing.
You're just going to cut words from each of us saying it into a completely different sentence, and that's just going to be the short for... That would be the best way to do it. I hate you all. Goodbye.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
30 seconds. Yeah.
You should probably follow us over at the Pokey Factor. We're actually, for some random reason, we randomly got to like within 10 of 1,000.
Good times. Good times.
Yeah. You know, posting hasn't been a thing, but
and yeah, CPM, thanks for joining all three of us on Insta as well. If you aren't joined the actual channel page as well, we appreciate that. We'll probably be doing a giveaway when we get to a nice solid 1,000. Those Damascus guys pop us up and over all the time. You're fluctuating. Anyway, continue on. Also following us, liking, subscribe, YouTube, blah blah blah, help us grow a little bit there. Eventually we'll probably do a 600. We'll do it 1,000 at least at the very most, but I imagine a 600 subscriber we'll do something small just to celebrate whatever, getting over that crest as well. And then Patreon. Yeah, we got things. It's a month overdue. We talked about Christmas. It's still going to be kind of a Christmas thing. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Happy Chinese New Year.
Yeah.
We're just going to make a Valentine's Day excuse in 2 weeks.
St. Patty's Day?
So yeah, pretty much until we actually get this shit done. But yes, all the guys that do subscribe to Patreon, we do appreciate it. We're gonna have a thank you for all you guys for sure. And yeah, all the money that you subscribing are literally just going back as a thank you for supporting our channel. So is that everything? No, we got.
I think that's it.
Is that the nice little story? A little YouTube short. We're gonna wrap it up here. All right, gentlemen. On that note, we're going to call this thing quits. I am who I am. I'm Phillikins Peahawk.
I am the Iron Joe.
And I'm Exile.ca.
I don't know what to make of that. You guys take care.
Oh,
What? You've never heard
you've
of
never Filicans your Peacock?
what?
I can't say that I have.
Well, get on our level.